Welcome to the Mukilteo Football Show. My name is Miles. The San Francisco 49ers defeat the Dallas Cowboys 30-24. And in a game with a lot of injuries, a lot of desperation, we got our wild card weird stuff going on. I mean, this game was hard fought at first. The Cowboys completely lost gas. The 49ers dominated to the point where they were blowing them out. And then just random garbage time stuff happened to bring the Cowboys back into it inexplicably. And then once the game was a game again, the Cowboys folded like a cheap lawn chair yet again. They did this against the Ravens as well, if you recall. Once the game mattered again, the Cowboys were back to, oh yeah, we're supposed to be getting blown out here. 49ers improved to 4-4. Yet again, reports of the 49ers' demise was premature. You know, these late, every so the graphic shows the 49ers have been 3-4 last couple years. They always bounce back. Last year they bounced back to the number 1 seed. But I do think this is a different reason they were 3-4, and this is a weaker team than 2023. So they're still not out of the woods for San Francisco 49ers fans, but I think the story of the night is more the Cowboys. 49ers just kind of back into the season, you know, okay, see what's going to happen next week and going forward. But the Cowboys, I mean, golly, it's just what you're seeing. And, you know, they've been soft under Mike McCarthy for a long time, and they've been undisciplined under Mike McCarthy for a long time. And the reason that they were able to have these great records, I think it was 12-5 last 3 years, is just the abundance of talent across the field, across all sorts of position groups. And I mean, I think the simplest explanation is the easiest. Without that, without the offensive line being an above average unit, without the edge rushing being above average threat for the Cowboys here, you got a bottom 10 team, right? I mean, they lost all gas in this game. They tried to come out and punch the 49ers. And I mean, at first they were battling, and they fizzled as they're wont to do nowadays. It's just, there's something about the Cowboys that is soft, and it's got to stem from Mike McCarthy. I know my co-host on Thursdays, Kirk, definitely approving of this. And Tirico's just rattling off stats because the Cowboys' offense was gone. Second and third quarter, they took the whole middle part of the game off. He's talking about 4 yards per play. Tirico's saying it's been 5 3-and-outs in a row. It's been 23 game minutes since their last first down, and over 1 hour and 15 minutes real time. Like, he's just reeling them off. And I actually found myself so annoyed with the Cowboys. Actually started rooting for the 49ers. Because obviously I'm not rooting for the 49ers for real. I'm a Seahawks fan. I don't root for the 49ers. But I found myself just wanting the Cowboys to get beaten down, more and more blown out, to punish them for letting me down. You know, it's like, that's a weird fan thing. I hope it gets even worse for them. But the game took a weird turn in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb, score an absolute garbage time touchdown. 49ers kick a field goal. Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb. Another absolute butter, wide open touchdown. All of a sudden, they're down 6 with 4 to 5 minutes to go. Mike McCarthy's calling his timeouts on this side of the 2-minute warning. Gamble that pays off. 49ers punt. And the Cowboys get the ball back, down 6 with 3 minutes to go. This was a blowout. And then the Cowboys don't get a yard and lose. There's just nothing more Dak Prescott than that. I mean, the first pass at 1st and 10, it was probably the worst throw of the week, in which he clearly predetermined to throw to CeeDee Lamb. He failed to see like the multiple levels of defenders in between. And the only reason it wasn't picked is there's just too many 49ers there to pick it. Then a bad rollout, bad low percentage play on 2nd and 10. He throws it away. Then, of course, this is also Dak Prescott, a perfect 30-yard bomb, dime on the sideline to a random wide receiver who sucks, and it bounces off his head. And then another overthrow on 4th and 10. This is Dak Prescott football. This is Cowboys football. This is Dak Prescott football. It's so funny. It's like you couldn't build. If you had said this was what's going to happen, you would have been laughed at. You're like, you're playing with all the caricatures and all the jokes about the Cowboys. You're just throwing them all into a mixer and saying that's what's going to happen. That's what happened. Butter. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown while it's garbage time. Absolute choke once it's a game again. And Brock Purdy, 49ers, they're happy, especially Purdy. He gets a reprieve from the criticism he was taking after the Chiefs game. Certainly happy to have Debo all night. Gosh, Debo is an awesome player. I wish he wasn't on the 49ers. He's just one of the best players in the NFL. He is so fun to watch. And George Kittle, of course, another player is very fun to watch. I wish he wasn't on the 49ers. And Fred Warner for the 49ers defense. Let me throw my name in the hat. Fred Warner for Defensive Player of the Year so far. I really think that he's playing well, but also he's got some like yearly cred that should be like previous years. He has just been one of the best players in the NFL. In this year without an obvious edge rusher, I don't know, Fred Warner. So 49ers will get going. They're now 4-4. The NFC West seems to be in hand. They just need to get some revenge on the Cardinals and Rams, for beating them. And you got to expect 49ers back in their usual place as a host in a playoff game. I would say that's still going to happen. Cowboys, they're the ones in trouble. They're 3-4. They do have both their games with the Eagles and Commanders still to come. So if they can pop up, show some fight in those games, and maybe sweep one of those, there's still some hope. 3-4 is not the end, but have we seen anything that shows that they're going to do that? I certainly have not. Mukilteo Football Show. This show is football, everything, NFL history, legacy, ups and downs of the season. We've got shows Sunday, Monday, and Thursday after the primetime games. Subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Week 8, the week without buys, in the middle of the season. It was a wild day for the morning red zone. I mean, we had a lot of great games, an exhausting amount of games. This is what you want, right? We had Tua back in Miami. That was a fun 28-27 game where Kyler Murray and the Cardinals pulled it out at the end. I've been a Tua hater for so long, and I haven't watched that game in full, except for what we saw in red zone, but you cannot argue with how bad the Dolphins have been without Tua and the immediate spark back with him. And then when we had Falcons, Bucks, kind of doing a little mini encore of their Week 5, Thursday Night Football. I think Baker had 3 touchdowns, Cousins had 4 touchdowns, and the witching hour came through, man. We had backup quarterbacks leading game-winning drives, all like simultaneously. Jacoby Brissett for the Patriots pops one down, and the Patriots upset the Jets. Malik Willis comes in for a Jordan Love groin injury for the Packers. They are driving. They get down to a game-winning field goal over the Jaguars. And most interesting and most exciting was Jameis Winston and the Browns. A game-winning drive against the Ravens. And to me, the play of the week, until there was a different play of the week, which we'll be talking about soon, was with the 1 minute remaining. And the Browns down, I believe, 4, or maybe 3. The Browns down with 1 minute, 59 seconds left. A Jameis Winston just 33-yard touchdown to Tillman. It was Tillman was behind the defense in full stride, and he hit him like just a sharp dagger. It was such a different type of game-winning touch. It was like, whoa! It was like the biggest whoa moment of the season. Just Jameis Winston, 33-yard touchdown to Tillman. Browns are winning this game. They're up by 4 now over the Ravens. It was crazy. And then Lamar, of course, had his chance to do his own miracle, and to his credit, almost got it done. But, I'm not worried about the Ravens, but I am excited for the Browns and Jameis Winston. I had said for Cleveland, I know you can't bring back Flacco and have the locker room divided like that. The magic of Flacco last year was a lot of touchdowns, a lot of interceptions, a lot of wild stuff. And, Flacco was kind of doing a Jameis Winston impression. So why not bring in Jameis Winston? And he makes his team so much more potent. Deshaun Watson, he shouldn't even be playing, really. We've seen that. You have to think that by now. Every time Deshaun Watson is out, whether it be Flacco or whether it be Winston today, the Browns have some semblance of an offense. That was fun. And we could be maybe not talking about this as much if Kyle Hamilton catches the play before, which was a Jameis Winston pure interception that Ravens safety Kyle Hamilton should have caught. Funny how often it happens when a game-ending interception is dropped. How often that team loses. Just sucks. Sucks for Ravens. They'll be fine, though. They'll be fine. So I said that was the play of the day until there was a different play of the day. And of course I am referring to Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels Hail Mary at the very end against the Bears. 2 seconds left. Goes into the big blob of players. Ricochets off into the hands of Noah Brown, casually catches it as the only guy standing in the paint. The Commanders shock the Bears. They go to 6-2. We were already talking about, what were we talking about? I think that was the big thing. When this Hail Mary happened, it was like the story all of a sudden. But before the Hail Mary happened, and the Bears scored their touchdown with 25 seconds to go, Commanders only had one timeout. Just you're thinking this thing's over. We'd kind of seen a game between the number 1 overall pick Caleb Williams and the number 2 overall pick Jayden Daniels that wasn't really like about them. It was kind of a weird. Jayden Daniels was fine. He was making a lot of plays with his legs. You could say there were clearly some stuff with his ribs. I couldn't tell personally, but they only had 12 points. The Commanders did, so you knew, something was up, or at least, maybe we would be talking about the Bears' defense. And Caleb Williams having an absolutely rough game. He had 35 passing yards going into the fourth quarter, but in the fourth quarter he got the yards and made the plays. But really, the defining plays for the Bears happened in the run game, good and bad. Bad, they fumbled a handoff to a lineman because he couldn't handle the ball because he's a lineman. Good, DeAndre Swift breaks a completely broken assignment touchdown that just bails the Bears out and gets them their first points of the game, and then they get their second touchdown later through a handoff. So it's like these plays didn't even really involve Caleb Williams, and Jayden Daniels only really had 12 points, but they were winning. It's just like just a weird game that was kind of like happened. It was like the Commanders and Bears muddled together for a weird game, and Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams were just like kind of along for the ride. That's what it was until the Hail Mary. And that had to be the player of the year so far, right? It's because of who it's from. Jayden Daniels and his offensive player, the rookie of the year candidacy, certainly in bright lights here, especially with Caleb Williams standing on the sideline. Kathleen and I were sitting in the same basic spots as we were on Friday when we watched Dodgers' Freddie Freeman hit a grand slam in the bottom of the 10th, game 1 of the World Series. We made basically the same sound. Whoa! So that was cool, kind of bookend our weekend, Friday and Sunday, with 2 crazy, crazy plays. But hey, shout out to the NFL Twitter who posted this Hail Mary with just a pure button mash, just a bunch of keys and just send. I love that. the big story of this play is the Bears screwing it up. That seems to be like, so Jayden Daniels magic, Bears screwing it up. Those are the two competing stories, and it seems like Bears screwing it up is kind of gaining more traction. I mean, it's right after Sunday Night Football I record these, so I don't get a chance to like listen to a lot of other podcasts or read a lot of other articles, but it does, there's criticism of the play before the Hail Mary where they gave just a free 12 yards to Jayden Daniels because the Bears were already in the Hail Mary defense. They were already down there, which Romo knew. Romo knew. So if you're the Bears, management, or you're the Bears, team owner, you might be thinking, why does Romo know, but our coaching staff doesn't know that we should still be defending? Because they got that 12 yards to set up a, quote, real Hail Mary, right? That was really important. And then NBC Halftime had the big thing where the Bears corner is like jawing with the fans on the other side of the field while the play is going, while Jayden Daniels is rolling out. And it seems pretty clear to me that was his guy. Like, he did get over there. He got over there in time for the throw, but he seemed like he was clearly there to make the flash knockdown. Like, he must have had Noah Brown, right? He absolutely had to be the one who's supposed to be with that guy. I mean, but this is coaching, and this is very bad for the Bears. And the coaching decisions on offense, the coaching decisions on defense are horrific. And we got to get them out of there if we want to save Caleb Williams as a potential draw in the future, because they're going to ruin him, in my opinion. If he's worthy of playing. I actually don't know where I stand on Caleb Williams right now. I'm seeing the same player that I saw at USC make those crazy plays, except for against NFL defenses, and they're not working. So, I don't know. We got a whole half a season, for Caleb and Jayden, and I don't know, Commanders, are they as good as 6-2? I don't know, but we shall see. Last story of the day, the Jets. Not great. They may be toast. I don't know. They dropped to 2-6, losing to the New England Patriots today. Drake May went out with a concussion, but Jacoby Brissett still finished them off. 2-6 maybe mathematically isn't super horrible in the AFC when you're, there's a 7th seed now. I mean, the Dolphins are 2-5, right? I mean, you're competing with the Colts and the Broncos. There's a whole half a season to go, but it's just how could things be at the Jets right now? Like, just that locker room has to be hell. Knowing that they're now 2-6, they fired their coach after week 5. Aaron Rodgers met with the owner on Monday night, and Tuesday morning they fired Robert Saleh as he walked through the door. Aaron Rodgers thinks we are stupid enough, thinks the defensive players on the Jets are stupid enough to think it didn't come up in that meeting. I mean, come on. You got to be kidding me. But he does think we're that stupid. And I don't know. It's like, golly. What I read is they smoke between the lines, like players in the media, former players in the media are starting to really talk a little bit more bitterly about Aaron Rodgers. I notice those players are generally defensive players. So they're getting those sources from the Jets defense. This locker room is hell. That's my personal opinion. And I want to see the documentary about it one day. I hope there is. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a real good one. It'll be right up there. I want to see the documentary for 2024 New York Jets, not like HBO, Hard Knocks, or Amazon All or Nothing. I'm talking about documentaries like in 20 years, 30 years, when none of the players have any water to carry and no one cares anymore and they're just telling the truth. 2024 New York Jets. I'd love to see what the heck happened to 2023 Philadelphia Eagles, or even just the Eagles this year, or just the Sirianni Hurts era. Love to see it. There's a few actually documentaries I'd love to see, but I still hold out hope for the 2015-16 Seahawks. It's a selfish pick, but it's for a documentary to talk about the tension between Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch, and the Legion of Boom after that loss in the Super Bowl to the Patriots. I mean, I would just love that, but I don't know. How did I get on documentaries anyway? Oh, yeah, because we need a documentary, and we should all be documenting as much as we can here, folks, about the 2024 New York Jets, because this is some weird stuff. It's almost a Shakespearean play, where Aaron Rodgers is Richard III, Robert Saleh maybe the king who got killed. I don't know, is this Macbeth? I don't know. Who's Lady Macbeth? Is that Devontae Adams in this case, or Garrett Wilson? We'll have to talk about that another time. All right, weekend is upon us. See ya on Halloween.